and we're going to examine the process of associating the DAQmx Base firmware with a USB 6008 or 6009, such that we may use this device with a DAQmx enabled operating system or perhaps PDA DAC device. In this case, as you can see, the 6008 is currently plugged into the computer and registered in MAX associated with DAQmx, and we can tell that because it is listed as a generic listed by name in the Devices and Interfaces section, and with the test panels and self-calibrating features we can see that those are features of DAQmx. The other way that we can confirm this is in the Windows Device Manager. To access the Windows Device Manager, what we can do is go to our Start menu, we'll select Settings, and open up the System Control Panel. And once the control panels come up, we can look at Administrative Tools and Computer Management. And once we have this, we look here and we can see Device Manager. And devices that are associated with the DAQmx driver will show up as National Instruments logo, data acquisition devices, and they will show up by name, as in the USB 6008. In this case, because we're converting to DAQmx firmware, we first need to unassociate the 6008 with the DAQmx driver and associate it with a multifunction VESA I/O driver, which is the backbone of the DAQmx Base protocol. So what we'll do here from the Device Manager is we can right-click the USB 6008, select Update Driver. And once this comes up, we're going to make sure to do manual operation of this driver update. So we'll select No, Not This Time, Install from a specific location, and Don't Search. I will choose the driver to install. As soon as we work through this, we see that there is the USB 6008 and also the NI USB 6008 multifunction I/O. This multifunction I/O driver is the VESA enabled driver and the one that will need to associate with the device in order to associate the correct firmware. So we'll go ahead and select this driver and click Next. And once we click Finish, we'll see here in a second the computer management window that the device is no longer part of the data acquisitions group and will now be associated with NI VESA. We can see here there is no longer the USB 6008. It appears here as an NI VESA USB enabled device. The next step is to run the DAQmx Base FW Updater. This requires DAQmx Base to be installed on the Windows machine in order to run the firmware update. To access this updater, we'll go ahead and minimize this window. We'll go to My Computer, the C drive, Program Files, National Instruments, and NI DAQmx Base. Inside this folder, we will also select the bin folder. And we'll see here an fwupdate.exe application. This is the firmware loader for both the USB 6008 and 6009. And we'll see here this front panel window comes up for the application. The first thing we'll go ahead and do is select to refresh the device list. That may take just a second to register here. And after we've refreshed the device list, what we'll see is the USB 6008 will show up here in the device window by serial number, and an indicator will occur that says needs to update firmware. We'll make sure to check this box and then select the Update Firmware option. And during this process, what you may notice is that the device is uninstalled and reinstalled with the computer multiple times, as it will be disconnected upon firmware update. What is important is that immediately when this firmware update completes is that we will unplug the device from the computer and the process will be completed. When the firmware update completes, we'll see this window, we'll know that it's current, and we can unplug the device.